go ahead and send this message. Alright, welcome everybody once again to another Monster Mash. We're testing out another monster this week, and we are continuing our March of the Machines. I've got another mechanized menace to terrorize my foes with, another techno-terror. But, speaking of those foes, speaking of my friends, the foes of my monster, I should probably clarify that. I'm going to go ahead and introduce them. And they are then going to go ahead and introduce their characters. So, we're going to go in reverse alphabetical order and start off with Orthus.
Yep,
Orthus,
hello.
you've been in a couple of these now, and you and I have a regular game every other Sunday. Glad to have you aboard here. And you're playing a character you have brought up. I don't want to say I'm not trying to say you've talked about it too much, but I feel like I know this character very well.
Yeah, she's kind of my primary OC. This is Claire Spitfire. This is kind of the sci-fi version of her, where she is a human dragon blood operative. In this case, in Starfinder, she would be a gunslinger in Pathfinder.
Hell yeah. Operative, baby. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, bringing in a little bit of that Pathfinder into the Starfinder, and I am allowing them to use the Starfinder playtest stuff here, because like I said, we are testing out some mechanized menaces, some monstrosities and stuff like that. And so I want my players to have equal levels of tech going on. Now next up, as I said, going in reverse order here, we have Shy.
Hello, hello. You're not so shy.
Yep, Shy, you are a regular here, and a regular in my home campaigns.
You just can't get rid of me.
I cannot, as much as I've tried. Hey, Trashy Worm in the chat, great to see you. So you're bringing back a character that you have played in the past, but while you are using a Pathfinder class, you're saying that you updated her a little bit for Starfinder.
Yeah, so I'm bringing back one of my personal favorites in a similar fashion here. Erica the Prodigious, if you will, or as I've renamed her, the Architect, as a almost esteemed, honored guest of the Vesk, one of the few that they consider part of them, as she now is an inventor of a new weapon as she works on the Plasma Dashko, commonly used by the Vesk.
Veskerica.
So, some good times. As she has titled it, I believe it was called Hell's Beacon. Yeah, there we go.
Ooh, that's a fun name.
So, yeah. I look forward to trying to see what it's like to play a Pathfinder class deliberately ported into a Starfinder-esque feel.
Oh, excellent. Awesome. Yeah, and you know what? I think the Inventor is probably one of the better ones to do that, just because of like how different kind of weapons can be from Pathfinder to Starfinder.
It was part of the reason I wanted to. Yeah, I was trying to grab something that felt like it had a good chance to really shine in different ways.
Very cool. Next up, keep going down the line here. We've got the guy that I've known the longest, but he's only rejoined us most recently, Larry. Larry, how you doing, bud?
Doing all right, bud. How are you?
I'm living. Who are you playing?
I'm going to be bringing Lenny back from last week, if you were tuned into that. Our android operative as well. However, he is more of a, I forget the word, but a sniper, essentially. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep. Now, we didn't really bring this up, but I did specifically kit out your character to be good against, like, mechanized foes and stuff.
Right.
If you look through your class features there.
Yeah, I hope to use a little bit more of those this round.
Excellent. Well, rounding out our crew and playing, you guys might have noticed we've got two operatives there. But they should play pretty differently. We'll see how distinct they feel from each other. But that gives us two Starfinder classes, and to balance that out, we do have two Pathfinder classes, as played by the last of our party, Decaf.
Heck yeah!
Decaf, you are another regular here, just like Shy. It's almost like you two come in a duo. And who you got? Because you're playing a character named Sebastian. You have another Sebastian that I think you've played on in the past, but this guy looks a little different.
Oh yeah. This is my take on an animist with a couple of Starfinder feats. And maybe some spells too. We like to get a little weird. But we're at the point where we've got 3 looming entities that hang out with me as I reach into the unknown and cast all of the spells from all of the traditions.
Ooh,
Something I
okay.
regularly like to do in your games.
Yes, yeah, you do like mixing up traditions. Excellent. Well, the 4 of you are part of an expeditionary force on a savage planet. This planet is of particular note because it seems whatever organic species once populated has gone extinct. Instead, their civilization has been reclaimed by nature, as well as swaths of mechanical, animal-like creatures, almost like machines designed after animalistic beasts. Now, these beasts range from docile to active threats, and you are part of the security force hired on to defend, kind of the settlers here. Or at least the people investigating this place. Now, you guys are not the only security force. You're maybe the best equipped, but there was a team that went out ahead of you, was looking at stuff, and came back battered. They report to you that the nearby swamps are guarded by a immense beast that resembles some shelled creature, but made of steel and circuitry. They mentioned to you that they noticed there was the shell covering it seemed to be protecting, interior components that are probably very sensitive. They could hear like stuff humming under its shell, and they noticed latches that you might be able to take out if you want to try to remove it. But they say other than that, it's highly dangerous, has a number of powerful area effects, and is an immense creature. You 4 have been sent out into the wilds to pacify this threat. So, as you all journey into the swamp, we'll say the usual stuff. The squares, obviously out of the water, are normal terrain. There's nothing there affecting you. If a square is mostly water, it is going to be difficult terrain. And you can move under the trees, but you can move through a space where the trunk is going to be difficult terrain or something of that nature.
So this would not count as an environment for destructive dash?
What does destructive dash do? Here we go.
You are in an environment, here it is.
Squares that you pass through become difficult terrain. Suitable environment to tear up. Yeah, I would say there's not quite enough for that. Sorry.
Okay, not a problem. Just wanted to ask.
Yep. Alright, so if you guys wish to move about or reorient yourselves, this is kind of where I just threw your characters while I was setting you up. You may wish to do so. You came from down south and have been moving northwards.
Is there a limit as to where we're not allowed to go?
Scatter yourselves as much as you would like, I guess. We'll see how that all works out for you. I did put you where I did, kind of for maybe some possible reason.
Gee, I wonder.
Flashback to an alternate universe with a fairy dragon.
This feels dangerous. I love it.
All right, you guys.
My weapon is drawn.
You guys all set? Yeah. I think you guys are certainly expecting danger here if you want to have your weapons drawn.
I will not
fine.
have mine drawn for a reason.
Okay. Well, as you guys are moving about the swamp investigating, you see maybe knocked over trees and stuff like that might show signs of this threat you were told about. However, it does not make itself immediately noticeable. But as you're moving about, some of you might notice something. And I'm going to roll a stealth check and let me know if it beats your perception DC.
Bruh.
Wow.
Yeah, that beat it.
Okay.
It's a
Critical success.
Yeah.
Then let's go ahead. And I'm gonna... Let me see here. There we go. And I'm gonna use that as my initiative. Everybody else, if you would like to go ahead and roll your initiatives, let's see how this all shakes out. Ooh. All right. Okay. So actually, good thing we rolled that. I used my stealth check for initiative because he was just emerging to go straight into combat. Sebastian, you are the only one who notices that the water here, centered here, begins to sort of like, it seems to bubble. It seems like something is beginning to rise out of the muck and the water and everything, lifting this massive bulk into the surface.
I don't like that.
Nor should you. I think that's an acceptable response.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it is at least huge in size.
Mm-mm. No, thank you. Rewind time.
Ooh.
I would like to escape now.
I was
Where's
gonna
the
say,
exit menu?
Is that a spell you have?
I would like to
miss something?
log out. No.
See you next week.
I don't like this VR game no more.
You are the first. What do you want to do?
Oh gosh. All right. I will, just kind of call out like.
I will say you can see something like in the like water. You can target it. I just haven't revealed it yet because it hasn't fully emerged.
Oh,
for
that's
everybody.
totally fine. I won't be targeting it. I
Okay.
am going to flee for my life. So yeah, I am just gonna kind of go, guys, problem, over there, threat 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, something o'clock, bye, and I immediately cast invisibility.
Ooh, okay. So you become invisible. Tough Onion
Yep.
says, time for evasive maneuvers, turns off computer.
Yep.
Log out.
Exactly. And then I think I'll just spend my remaining action to just move. Let's see here. That'll be 5, and it is it spacebar? Yes, there we go.
There we go.
And I think then I can go over here. That doesn't look right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm basically just taking cover over here as best as
Okay.
I can while being invisible.
All right.
I do not
Then-
exist.
That brings it to my creature's turn. As its turn begins, it finishes emerging from the water. That's not going to be like an action it has to use. And what you guys see before you is an immense creature, a gargantuan creature of this sort of like white metal shell draped in moss and like water weeds and everything like that. You can see like rivulets of water, streams of water running from it. And as it's like this gaze, this wide face focuses on you, 4 sets of lights flicker in each eye socket, and it has this sort of beaked mouth. And as like more of it like shakes loose and everything like that, this creature most clearly resembles a gargantuan robotic snapping turtle.
Oh.
I'm going to share that to you guys. Hopefully that comes through.
Oh, that's a big
Yeah.
boy.
Oh, wow.
Oh man.
So this is a monster from Horizon
Frick.
Zero Dawn. This is made in
Yeah.
conjunction with Cameron McLeod, and yeah, it is a gargantuan Shellsnapper.
Great. My brain, oh my good lord.
So it is going to start off. I got to start off with his ability because I have no idea if I'll ever get another chance to use it while people are relatively close together. I was really hoping I could get Sebastian in it, but
Happily
this thing,
fleeing.
yeah, this thing begins to move, its claws digging into the ground, and it's not as slow, maybe as slow as you would expect a giant robo turtle to be. As it boom, 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 the ground shakes, and like you're almost amazed like the ground can hold its weight. But this is a gargantuan creature, which means because it is more than 2 size categories larger than you, it can move through your spaces, and you can move through its space without any problem. However, it's doing something here.
Without any problem, he says. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
worried about getting stepped on.
That's because that's kind of exactly what's happening here. The Shellsnapper is using an
lied to.
action called Crush. The Shellsnapper strides and can end its movement in the space of any creatures it can move through due to its size. Creatures in the space at the end of its movement, at the end of its stride, take 68 bludgeoning damage with a basic fortitude save, and on a failure, they become grabbed until the Shellsnapper moves or the creature escapes. So it is essentially rearing up out of the water, just streaming off of it, algae, all this stuff dripping off of it, and it just boom, 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 moves forward at speed, uncomfortable speed, given its size and its design, and just tries to body slam Claire and Erica.
What?
Oh,
Why is
man.
it so fast?
Damn.
So I'm gonna need you guys to give me a basic fortitude save.
All right.
Okay. And oop, that's pretty good. All right. Erica, you are going to avoid most of this damage. You also avoid becoming grabbed. Unfortunately,
Also,
Claire.
just kind of get kicked to the side a bit.
Yep.
So here we go. This is gonna be, decent damage. So that all goes through to Claire, but half to Erica. But Claire, you then become sort of pinned under this creature's bulk.
Yep. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
As Tough Onion says, more monsters need to just utilize their size as a weapon, and this guy definitely is. Now, Claire, you're a little pinned under this thing. It's not quite like it hasn't knocked you prone or anything, but you're kind of like stuck under it. You can't really get away from it as you are now. You're almost sort of like I'm almost envisioning you a little bit like Atlas, holding the world up.
Yeah, probably. Okay. Alright, so as much as I'd like to use athletic for that, acrobatics actually would be a better choice. I'm going to attempt to escape using acrobatic.
All right, gonna try to sort of tuck and roll out from under there. Ooh, that's pretty good. That does beat his athletics DC.
Alright.
Oh, you
Okay.
know what? I forgot to include the escape DC again. We'll have to. Okay. But
Okay,
you are escaped, so you are no longer grabbed. You are under him because just of his size.
Yep. Well, I'm going to assume that I have my hand free now. I'm no longer holding it up. And the reason for that is, and this is the reason I didn't draw my weapons up first. Twin draw.
Ooh, free action to draw 2 and aim? That is crazy.
Yeah. Indeed. Alright.
So, I will say, looking at this creature, you do see its shell is held down by 4 clamps of some nature.
Okay, I'm gonna aim for one of the clamps, but before I do so,
Okay.
Let me double check the thing about aim. And the range strike there. Okay. So I'm also going to skirmish strike. We're
Ooh,
going to step
there you go. Nice.
and then strike. And I will strike with the flaming module because that's kind of like my primary gun. So let's
Okay.
go. And I wanna aim for one of those clamps that you talked about.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's one of your contract things.
Yep. One of the components.
What do you mean it's not loaded? It should be. Okay, that's just stupid. The gun
It's-
should be loaded by
It
default.
is. It is just. Yeah. It's how. It's how. Foundry. There might be, by the time Starfinder comes out. Ooh. Okay. So that'd be a hit against a creature, but unfortunately not against the component.
Not against the clamp. Yep. That's fair.
So now does aim last until the end of your
No.
turn? Or is it
Yes,
just your next
I
attack?
believe so.
Until the end of my turn.
Very nice. That's cool. That's handy.
Yep.
All right. But that is all 3 actions, then, isn't it? Or no? 'Cause
No, I have one more
One
action
more.
remaining.
Yep.
Sorry about that. You know, let me get aim on again. And we'll just aim for the thing again. I'm gonna use my other pistol for that.
Okay.
So
You want to try going for the component again, or aiming for just it?
Yeah, aiming for the component.
Okay.
This will be with the shock weapon.
Oof.
Nah, that's 5.
Yep, that's not a great roll. Okay, Erica, back around. We have come around to you.
Alrighty. Well, what kind of inventor would I be if we didn't use overdrive?
Hell yeah.
All right, standard DC 4 level. Here we go.
Huge thing looming over you, and you take the time to yank the pull cord of your weapon. Ooh,
All
success.
All right, yeah. So you see this amalgamation of what used to be a plasma doshko, which, basically just a laser scythe or a
Mhm.
laser axe,
A laser
honestly.
pike.
Yeah. Rev up even more with electricity and fire and just looks kind of menacing.
Oh, yeah.
Is Lenny and Claire, are neither of you melee by chance?
Nope, I'm just short range.
Don't think it matters. I think my stuff is still
Lenny is ranged as well.
regardless. Gotcha. Okay. Lenny doesn't like technology, so I feel like Lenny would hate the fact that I would offer to do this. So, Claire, you can have overdrive ally.
Oh
Ooh,
boy.
neat.
So you should have that. I don't know how to apply my overdrive. Oh, here we go.
Now, is that using
Success.
your intelligence?
Yes.
Okay, making sure.
So it should honestly be applied already. That's 2 actions. I am gonna also attempt another crafting check.
Okay.
And this isn't necessarily technology. This is just making life a little easier. I don't know which weapon you intend to use there, Lenny, but we're gonna make it work a little better.
Let's go. All right.
Well, now it says this is choose an ally within your
and
reach.
one of their weapons. Why are y'all all so far away?
So I
Never
don't
mind.
get stomped on.
Hey, you didn't know about it.
You see the giant puddle in between us?
Well, okay. In that case, swing. I'm gonna swing at it to start.
Okay, so
We'll
walk
just
back.
start there.
We'll walk back the helpful tinkering.
Yep. You can delete those.
Yep. All right, so one
All right,
action to
let's try this again.
overdrive, one action to overdrive
Ta-da!
ally, and then you're doing a single action strike. Oof! You're
Oh
doing
my lord.
against the creature. Fantastic hit. Man, imagine if
Wow.
you'd gone for one of its components.
It's unfortunate. What's really unfortunate is I didn't use Megaton Strike. That would have been great.
That would have been,
But that's fine.
yeah, that would have been impressive. All right. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. All right, but you already rolled critical, so I don't click double there.
Correct. Yeah, this is all already applied. There is
Okay.
some critical specialization stuff to worry about.
As your weapon connects with it, its body seems to react poorly to the fire.
Oh, it doesn't like fire.
Noted.
Oh dear, it does not like me. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. It's all my actions.
Noted.
Okay. Lenny.
All right. I think I want to, single tech creature or tech item within 15 feet. Could I try to sabotage this thing?
Of course.
All right. Throw that up. I'm gonna do that for one action.
To attempt a computer's or crafting check against the creature's fortitude DC.
All right, we're gonna go with computers.
Okay. Ooh, 41 against my fortitude DC. Oh. That is just barely a failure.
Oof. Dang. All right. Then let me see. I can't attempt this anymore, right? After I've tried it once.
Well, no, it was only a failure, which means the target is immune to your sabotage until the end of your next turn.
Oh, he failed. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Yep.
Let's do a running shot.
Okay.
So the way I'm understanding this is it says that I aim,
Yep.
and then I stride, and then I shoot.
Yep. So yeah,
Okay.
Can shoot at any point during your movement.
so go ahead and throw up aim in
Right.
chat.
Uh,
Apply it to, or at least apply it to yourself.
okay. Target, and then I'll just go right here.
Sure.
I'll take a shot in between that.
So you open fire on this immense creature. Are you aiming for any components? Now, I don't think
Yes.
you've heard about components. Maybe you've looked at some of the older videos. We've talked about them in the past. Components are you can aim at a creature's vulnerable points. It usually is a higher AC. The only components you presently know of are its shell latches.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it.
Okay, and it seems to be there are 4 shell latches.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to roll for my
Hero
my
point?
bottle cap. Yeah.
Done. You do not have a
Nope.
hero point.
All right. Let's shoot this thing.
Alright. Ooh. So, okay. So that is not a critical hit against a component, but that is a hit against a component. So go ahead and roll me regular damage.
All right.
$14. Okay. Or 16, sorry. That damage seems low on your weapon.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. It seems very low.
You maybe just rolled low. Yeah, the only thing you rolled a 4, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah.
Oh, you're probably not a greater striking or elite weapon. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah, she
Oh,
should have
did
one
I,
at this level, right?
did I not do that?
Yeah, 'cause I got 2 of them.
Yeah, I think you should have
Ah.
one more like D6 on your weapon.
Yeah, another.
Okay.
If should have been
Yeah, if
pretty
you want to
easy to
just
have
roll
greater
another
striking.
D6, and then just
I'll-
add that
I'll
in
fix that.
between turns.
I got it.
Okay.
My bad.
Alright, so electricity leaps from your weapon, frying this latch. However, there still seems to be a little bit health left to it. Additionally, half of that damage does go to the creature itself, so I will subtract that. Does that work? Yes, perfect. Okay. Is that all 3 of your actions?
Yep.
Alright, we get back to Sebastian.
Dear. All right. Well, knowing that Erica did what she enjoys doing most, which is thrash on technology, I think Sebastian is going to hang out where he is, but he's probably going to give her a little bit of backup. Now, Sebastian, as described as an animist, is a full-on caster, but he's very self-idealized in his magic. So next to Erica here, we'll say it appears like right here adjacently.
Mhm.
You see what looks to be a crystalline, like bright blue version of Sebastian, but wielding a standard sword and shield
Oh.
as he casts Spiritual Guardian
Oh, okay. Very
and
cool.
directs it to protect Erica.
You would take damage, and the guardian is adjacent to it. The target takes the first 10 damage instead of the ally. Okay. Very cool. And this is just the
Yeah.
basic one? It's just the first 10 damage?
Yeah,
that
it
doesn't
is
scale?
exactly that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I've only got it at the 5th rank itself, so it shouldn't be doing anything additionally crazy, from what I understand.
Excellent.
So yeah.
That's 2 actions.
That would
Is there
be
anything
2 actions.
else?
I think, knowing that, even though I am not a healer, but I should still be non-offensively targeting this creature, I am going to move so I can kind of still keep an eye on my allies. And I'll just
Okay.
come down to here. Oh,
Okay.
I was measuring. Hold on.
Yep.
Let's try that again. Spacebar.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. Well, lit on fire. The Shellsnapper is going to lumber back into the water.
I'm being abandoned.
Is it moving?
It is.
I got a hair trigger.
Okay.
Because I did aim at it last time. So.
Yeah, yeah. I'll say if you want to, you could target the a component for this, if you would like.
Yes, I would actually.
Okay. Do you want to go for the same latch that sorry, Lenny was going for?
Yeah, let's go for that.
Okay.
I also have the same reaction.
Ooh, so you guys can both take.
Oh, that's true.
Okay. All right, Lenny, you want to aim for the same latch you were aiming for last time?
Yeah,
Oh, you had that one?
I do.
Oh, you must have picked it up. Okay. I got it for free. So.
Nice. All right, go for it. Let's see if you can land your shot.
Oh, what the? Sorry. It's being laggy. It's being laggy.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah, so that is another hit. Not quite a crit on the component. Go ahead and roll damage. Ooh. Okay. So, here's what happens. You blast that latch off. So, one of the latches is destroyed. That doesn't completely dismantle its shell yet. Oh,
For
and
sure.
I actually forgot to do something. The excess damage, any damage after dealt after, the damage you needed to deal to the component, broke that. The excess damage is dealt to this thing, reducing its damage. And actually, I need to take a quick look because there's actually a couple things I got to track. How much physical damage has been dealt to this thing? So far, that's only
Mhm.
been. Did you deal any physical damage to it, actually, Erica? Is your Dashko all
Fire and
fire?
electricity.
This is not a good fight for my boy.
Uh-oh.
He he needs to take physical damage to do stuff.
Oh,
Don't worry, I
Uh,
actually do physical damage with my gun, the semi-auto
Okay.
pistol, not
All right.
the pistol
Well,
thing.
so it takes him one action to go there, back into the water. He's going to use his last two actions for a frostbite. And so this creature is gargantuan. It's got,
What now?
decent reach. However, you see its neck extend from its shell,
Mm.
reaching incredible distances to bite Erica.
Oh my god.
And as
I'm
it
sorry,
does,
pardon?
you see mist, frost seeming to pour from its mouth. So it's going to make a jaw strike against Erica at. Out here, you know what? I'll throw frostbite up. It's going to make a jaw strike against Erica at 25 feet away. Hit. Not a crit. So that is going to be. Oh, only 7. Wait a second. No, that's. Oh, it's written wrong somehow? Oh, I accidentally typed 3D13. And it was like, that's not something that exists.
3D13,
Must
huh?
be like 3d10 plus 13 or something crazy.
There we go. That's much better.
Ah,
And 10 cold damage on top of that, please.
oh snap! All right, I don't have resistance to any of this.
So
So
it would be
Hey,
43 reduced by 10, so 33 due to my guardian right next to you. But you would take everything else.
Is there a way I can apply an effect from the guardian to me, or no?
Well, if you just want to take
No?
the
Okay.
damage, the 43 there, because it was also going to deal 10 extra cold damage.
Oh yeah, good point. Ah!
All right. That's my turn.
Alrighty.
Great. 10 fire damage. Really
Beautiful. I wonder why it doesn't like me.
And I'm still burning.
Still
All
on
right.
fire.
Well, fortunately, I have plans for next turn. We'll see how much longer that lasts, you bastards. Claire.
You kind of see what I'm implying to do here.
Mhm.
I mean, oh yeah, that should be okay. So we're just going to stride because I saw this thing was weak to fire.
Mhm.
So as a diabolic red dragon, technically half dragon,
Okay.
breath of the dragon.
Ooh, all right. I'll
You
go
know
ahead and
what?
give you my reflex save here. I'm going to spend my villain point here so that we can actually have a test.
I kind of figured the thing is lumbering and slow, so
Okay, I'll take the success.
but here's the damage.
Alright, he's already taking plenty from that.
And that will be my turn, because I would move in 2 actions, and then I will need to... I cannot use it for 3 more rounds.
Alright, Erica, back to you.
Okay. I have a plan. First off, overdrive has ended on specifically Claire,
Oh, okay.
because the overdrive ally thing is only till the end of their next turn. However, I am actually going to use overdrive again to see if I can get
A better
a crit.
result. Okay. See what you can do. Here we go. You got a crit.
Hey, look at that! Perfect. All right, so my overdrive is now better. Where is it? There we go. Drag that onto me instead. Replace the old one.
The
I wish I
Dashko
could
burns even
remove-
hotter.
That's not what I wanted. Edit. How many rounds?
Scorching the
I don't
earth.
think I can. I don't think I can adjust how many rounds are left, but oh well. So I have 9 rounds, not 10 left.
Okay.
Not, hopefully we shouldn't have to worry about that, but that's besides the point. I'm going to go ahead and use Overdrive Ally again. Whoa. I want to measure.
All right, so that'll be
Perfect,
action
30
number
feet.
2. All right,
Yep.
you're using it on Lenny. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking of using it on Lenny. Otherwise, going from there. So here is your Overdrive Ally. And it will be my full intelligence modifier for you there, bud.
Because you got the critical.
I sure do.
Awesome.
Nice.
And then I almost don't feel like I can really do much this turn beyond that. Now that I've got that going, that's nice and all, but I might just have to light.
Move in.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we'll have to move around here. So let me just go ahead. I also have another plan so that you can try and test some stuff in particular.
I
So
appreciate
let's
it.
go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to here.
Well, now, I was looking this up.
Never mind.
You still can't end your movement in a space occupied by a creature,
Here, even though
even though it's gargantuan. That's why Crush specifically has to call out that it can do so.
Mm.
interesting. Fascinating. Okay. There's like no good room there. Bruh.
I mean, you can stand here.
The tree's in my way.
No, the branch is above you.
Ah, it's in my way. This thing's above me. What do you mean?
Don't go for overhead swings. Lenny,
I kind of have to. Unless I'm poking him in the toe.
All right.
yeah, because I was looking this up. Creatures of different size, page 422 of the player core. About the moving through spaces based on size.
Let's do a hampering shot.
Ooh, okay. Now let me take a look here. Because, I mean, you're shooting kind of through a tree here. I kind of want to give it cover. It's
Okay.
going to have lesser cover against you, so it's going to have +1 to its AC.
Okay.
You want to go for another latch, or you want to just aim for the body? Given the
I
crits
think I'm
you've been
just
getting
gonna-
on the body, but not on the
I think I'm
component.
just gonna do the body.
Yeah, that's fair.
So reload this, John. Strike that, John. Oh wait, nope. Use aim.
Boost its AC
apply
from the cover.
effect. Strike and roll.
Ooh! Oh no!
Oh.
God, it terrifies me that that's a critical miss, but you only missed by 6.
Wow.
Operatives. Disgusting creatures.
All right, can't do that because he's too far away.
So that was 2 actions.
Right. So I think dodge and roll. We've had. Let's try to half of yourself. Not triggered. Okay, that's good to know. Let's just do a regular shot.
Okay.
Second shot.
Remember, this is going to be attack number 2.
Yep.
Still has the cover against you, so I got that factored in. That's a miss.
Mm.
All
That's
right.
my turn.
That is your turn. That brings us back around to Sebastian. Or do you prefer Sebastian? Oof.
All right. Let's
Or-
go ahead and start.
Or Erica, nobody making use of her overdrive ally.
Just damn.
Literally just said this off mic.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was
Just like
going
it's
for the
not
fire
going
breath when I
through.
saw the thing weak to fire, so.
All right,
Are you
Invisilad.
gonna blame me?
What you thinking?
Well, I'm gonna start by sustaining, and then I'm gonna move my guardian so that he stands right here,
Okay.
ready to jump in front of Erica again, as I command it to move and then protect her. And then...
Okay.
Ooh, that's 3 actions, so I can't use that now. What is this? This is too much. Okay. What is this?
What's this? What's this?
Nope, don't need that.
Oh,
Whatever you will.
Man, I might have to come out of invisibility, and I was really trying to hold off as much as possible. Let's see.
Join the fight.
I don't wanna. You know what? No, I have an idea.
Okay. What do you got?
Let's see here. Hold on. You are 5, 10. You know what? Measuring tool. 40 feet away. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, Guardian moves up, and the Guardian just goes and does like a little shoulder nudge, like we got this. And as it does so, you see some of the crystal rubs off, and gives Erica a we'll call it as it is, a rousing splash.
Ah, nice.
What list is that under? Holy crap! I have
Primal,
too many
usually.
spells.
Maybe
Let's
you
see,
have it under
divine,
something else, but
spontaneous. Here you are. Goodness. Well, the Animist has like 2 different separate lists that you have to keep track of, and I love it. But oh, there we go.
Yay!
Enjoy your
Okay.
temporary hit points.
Sure, we'll make some use out of that. Well, that brings us to the Shellsnapper's turn. And I have a little trick up my sleeve. So, you guys see me. I'm here in the water. I'm in difficult terrain.
Right.
I'm going to use an ability called Dig In. The Shellsnapper partially burrows into the ground. Until it moves, the Shellsnapper gains cover. If the Shellsnapper digs in difficult terrain or greater difficult terrain, it gains greater cover instead.
well, good thing aim can reduce that the AC bonus by 1.
Yep. Alright, so I'm going to dig in as one action. Just sort of buries itself in the muck, which will lower its recovery check DC. Want to make a note of that? I mean, there's I think an argument to be made that it should maybe just snuff it out entirely. But after that, it is, you see this sort of like frost, this mist sort of gathering in its maw again, and it is going to boom, spit out this chunk of ice, like as big as a person, and it is going to spit that out. Yeah. Let's see, right there. Perfect. There, the ice shatters, spraying frost shards everywhere as it goes, catching our 2 lovely ladies up there, Erica and Claire, in its shrapnel range. So, go ahead, and both of you give me a reflex save. Okay, and oof. Okay. That is going to be... I'm seeing a lot of 2s. 44 cold damage.
But hey,
All right, so 10 gets reduced.
10 gets reduced automatically for
so
you.
I take 34.
Okay, 34 for Erica, as she's defended by the Spiritual Garden, and then she also has temp HP on top of that.
Uh-huh. Okay, hold on. How can I take... 1 sec.
Well, I'm going to end my turn, and I'll take
Nailed it.
fire damage. Then I'll do my recovery check. And that, because I sank myself into the water, that is going to succeed. I
Alrighty.
should have rolled
Dang
assist.
it.
There was a thing to
Valid,
roll
but
assisted
dang it.
recovery. Dang it. Okay.
Alright. I did see the thing kind of latch off with its mouth. I want to measure.
I will remove my area.
Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to mobile aim, so we're going to stride and aim.
Okay.
don't want to get like just out of range of its mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I aim. And then we're gonna go for a weakening shot.
Okay.
So this is not going against the component, it's just going against it.
Yep.
And if I hit, I would like to try to inflict, probably enfeeble, because this thing's kind of big and lumbering.
Okay, that's fair. I dig it.
Good.
I didn't know where to put like bonuses, like a circumstance bonus from cover, so I have just increased its AC.
Keep in mind, aim will reduce it by 1.
Yep, I will keep that in mind. Has it not? Doesn't it go up as you level?
Oh my god!
Okay, that would miss even with the.
Yeah, I'm just not rolling well.
For what's worth, I want, as a single person that deals physical damage, I'd love for you to hit.
Right?
Again, I can do physical damage as well. The problem is I also have to hit on past greater cover here in a sec too. So
Yeah, so that's all 3 actions.
Okay. Erica.
all right. Speaking of, all right, time to do exactly that. You see, she starts to really charge into the swing, and while yeah, the flame is there, she's got to test out some of the other functions of this. So you'll see the plasma suddenly retract as some of the blades actually physically shoot out from the same spot and turn into more of a slashing device.
Ooh,
As she
okay.
cuts it down into it. Now, there will still be fire, but and she's also gonna, pull the cord and make it a megaton strike.
Hell yeah. Let's see it.
We are gonna make it unstable and use unstable redundancies,
Okay.
so we don't have to do the flat check. And I think that's everything.
Bonk that thing!
That's the plan.
Bring it.
All right. Well, more like cut it, but we'll see. Anyways. Hi-ya! Oh, hold on. Hi-ya!
Ooh. That is a hit, even with its cover.
Let's go. Erica's not playing around today.
Should be some big
All
damage.
right.
Which I am going to... Let me check something.
Perfect. This should be perfect for what you're looking for, actually. You wanna track damage? Here you go.
Okay, I am going to have to increase that or lower that. Okay. So, this is going to be interesting. Some damage is getting reduced, some damage is getting increased. It all comes out at a nice, 61 points of damage that gets through. This thing is low on health. So you know what? If it doesn't get to use these abilities, I mean, that's just how the cookie crumbles. We'll discuss these effects in the aftermath. All right. Anything else?
No one's in range. Fascinating. I guess just I might just end it.
You could just swing again.
No, it's not worth it.
Good.
I think, yeah. One of the benefits of Megaton Strike is like it doesn't count as 2 attacks for your multiple attack penalty.
Oh, does it not really?
I don't
thought
think
it did
so.
for some reason. Huh. Wild.
It doesn't say anything about it doing so. At least I'm not seeing
Yeah,
it.
I forgot about. I kind of knew that, but I actually kind of forgot about that. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Shoot, why
I'm
not?
not a fan of it, but it is true.
Wait, what is?
Well, here.
Megaton
Well,
Strike is not
Megaton.
like Vicious Swing, where it doesn't increase your multiple attack penalty. Like, it doesn't count as
Oh.
2 attacks.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
She'll spin it mid swing and slam it back down and into a bludgeoning force upon essentially the toes of this thing if she can help it.
Hell yeah. Let's see it. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh man, if not for that cover,
Yeah, if it were not for the
man,
cover, that
Erica
would be a
rolling
hit.
freaking rocks today.
Yep, it is You go to swing at it, it's just like it is buried. You end up like you're aiming for its toes, but you only hit like the muck and stuff. All right,
I'm
Lenny.
just imagining it like it had the toes out and just spread the toes out so you hit in between.
All right. I'm gonna do a. What is it called?
Aim.
The running shot.
Okay.
So I will aim. And then I'm gonna go.
Moving on to the
Yeah.
dun, 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 as you race across it.
And I will shoot at the pretty much the end of my movement.
Okay. So I'll keep in mind that its AC is lowered by 1 because of your aim, reducing circumstance penalties. Or circumstance bonuses. Ooh!
What?
Yeah, that is a hit. Not a crit, but a hit.
And I didn't say I was targeting the latch. Let me see.
Yep, this is just going to go against the body.
Aim is okay. I had to make sure this aim was correct.
That would have taken out another latch if it had hit.
Me.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Still standing. Or lurking, however you want to call it.
Actions.
You know what actually is? Can I give, like, is cover a condition or something? Nope. I'm not seeing it at least.
Alright. I will go for a second attack. This one will be against the latch.
Okay.
Oh, whoops, that's the third attack.
Yeah, make sure you're only clicking your second. Ooh. Because you reduce it by 1, that is a hit.
Let's go.
Okay. And that destroys another latch. You blast it out. Actually, ooh. The damage. Okay, I have to use this action. Because otherwise... So here's how this works. This doesn't affect... You do still blast off a latch. But half the damage would be dealt to him when you target a component. He has to activate Force Field and use up the energy stored in his kinetic dynamo. So, like, the force of this latch getting blown off of him. You see some of it, like, a force field, this shimmering field, like, spreads across its shell and sort of deflects some of that from hitting him.
Okay.
But that is another latch destroyed, and that consumes the little bit of damage he had stored. So, this is going to be something interesting to discuss when we get to it. Yeah, we'll have to talk. Alright, Sebastian.
Okay.
I will say, I am not... If you guys can finish it off, I'm not going to, like, give it endless ferocity or anything like that. It would have a lot to set up to be able to use its final thing. And you know what? If I do its final thing, maybe I'll just... If it survives your turn, maybe I'll just have it do it.
Fair enough.
Sure.
It won't be me, that's for sure. I have all these spells, but
Okay.
I really like being invisible while I can. So we're just going to direct the Guardian to protect Erica, and then Claire, above your head, you're going to see
A sword.
a sword just come crashing down on you. No.
Curse your
you
sudden
see
but inevitable betrayal.
betrayal. Yeah. You see what looks to be a small crystal that forms above your head, and then it shatters. But it shatters in a way that sounds like a little, like, chink, like metal breaking a little bit. As you also get a rousing splash upon you.
Or temp HP. Ooh. Good roll.
But that'll be my 3 actions.
Alright. Well, that does mean it gets to my turn. And, there's somebody who's been triggering my weakness pretty consistently.
Hi.
So here's what we're going to
How are
do.
you?
First off,
mean,
I
I'm
am
over
going
here as
to
well.
cheat
Uh-oh.
and give my Shellsnapper 50 stored energy in its kinetic dynamo, which it will then immediately spend to use Power Blaster. So I do have some changes I want to make to that. We can discuss this, but this is just a 90-foot beam. It doesn't know where Sebastian is,
Oh
so
God!
I cannot, in good conscience, target Sebastian with this. And I don't think I can get it to... Whoops, that's not what I wanted it to do. I don't think I can
Control
get the
Z.
line to...
Widen the line to just be 3 squares across, a 15-foot wide beam.
Well, I do want it to be a wider. I do want it to be a wider beam. We can.
I would be perfectly okay if you did that, like right now, and just have it hit me and Erica. I'd
All
be
right.
okay with that.
Yeah, it'll be both
I
of
don't see
you.
why not.
So both of you go ahead and make the reflex save. It's sort of like it. You know, it's got that long neck. It cranes its neck around, and just this beam. You see like this glow and like sort of sparking its throat, and then there's just this massive beam erupts from it. Oh my gosh.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and re-roll that with a hero point.
Yep. And Claire gets a critical success. There we go.
I was hoping my fire resistance would come
Oh,
in.
it was almost a 20.
All
It
right.
was so close.
So here we go just for Erica.
My boy,
Pretty good
save
roll.
me.
65, so you'll only take 55 points of damage.
Ha. Ow.
Then I have one action remaining. I'm just going to try to bring down a claw on you.
Huh?
Big ol' smash. Yes. Successful smash for... Ooh, another really good roll on damage. 40 points of damage.
30, I would still take the damage.
Fascinating.
Ooh, it's against each effect. That's pretty good. I like that.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, so it applies to this as well.
Yes.
Oh. Well,
yeah, I
shoot.
mean, it's basically just 50 hit points. It's gonna just absorb what it can on each individual attack for you.
Awesome.
So I have 10
All
hit
right.
points left to spare.
Well, that's all 3 of my actions. Claire, can you
Okay, I have
finish it
16
off?
left.
I'm gonna try. Gonna do an aim. Did I reload him because of the whole weirdness?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's...
Gonna fire. Just a regular old fire on its body.
Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Not a crit.
Not a crit, unfortunate. So, here comes
Because
the
it
damage.
because it dug in, that is not a crit. But even with that just being a regular hit, that is enough to finish the Shellsnapper. How do you kill it? What's your killing blow here against this gargantuan techno turtle?
I'm thinking that big mouth. I'm aiming directly into it. I'm ricocheting that bullet all across its innard.
Yep, and you just see explosions sort of springing up across its body as your shot spreads down its body and it collapses, smoldering into the water.
Erica looks back. Nice. Never used my overdrive, but it's fine.
And that covers our test on the Shellsnapper. Now, at this juncture, we are going to take some time to discuss the design of this thing. We're going to look at the numbers, going to look at adjustments that need to be made. Whoops, that's supposed to be over there. Ooh, and I actually gave it too much AC. I cheated a little bit. I apologize.
That might explain why we won't get no quit. Would
Yeah, actually, I guess that last one would have been a crit then.
have been double damage. Oh boy.
But either way, you finish it off. However, I understand that might not be to everybody's taste. Yeah, I mean, some of you will, if you want to, you'll want to see like my thoughts on it better collected over on the Monster Monday video to really see the discussion. This is just sort of a review before we get to the real finalized form of it. So, if you're going to head out now, I want to thank you for coming around. We'll see you again hopefully next week to test out a new monster. For everybody else, thank you for sticking around. As let's get into this. I'm going to make it so that you guys can see the Shellsnapper. While I do so, I'd like to hear first impressions. How did we feel
Super cool.
about the Shellsnapper? Super cool?
Menacing.
Honestly, yeah, I liked it. That again, you're killing it with the opening blow, man. Like going in with that 3-action opening blow, hitting the multiple people.
Yep, yep.
Like you said, using the size to your advantage. Yeah, I don't see that very often.
Yeah, that is actually specifically why I made him gargantuan, because my cam had him be huge, but I was like, I couldn't remember what size. It's if you are 3 size categories larger than a creature, you can move through its space. So I was like, well, most characters are going to be medium, so I have to make him gargantuan.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay. Sorry, I had a little problem. Okay.
Hold on. So if you made its AC extreme, did that mean the components AC were above extreme?
Well, so his AC is not extreme.
Oh, okay.
We'll discuss that a little bit. So just looking at numbers. Well, actually, here, no, sorry, I just heard from 2 of you. Decaf, Larry, first impressions.
I mean, I like gigantic monsters. I think they're great.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm digging it, dude.
Awesome. Yeah, so this is one that is from the games. It is not one that was made by Cameron, but he's like, I'd like to see. He had this built in 5th edition, D&D 5th edition. It's like, I'd like to see you bring this into Pathfinder 2nd edition. It's like, you got it. And so we made the Shellsnapper. Now, discussing its numbers. Whoops. I am reconfiguring my screen so I can see the Twitch chat and also look at the numbers. All right, so we got ability scores. Let's see, level 15, extreme strength, high con, moderate wisdom. Everything else is low or lower. Perception with a 29 is high. Skills, I might lower its stealth and give it like a more sort of like situational stealth. Because the main idea is to just like it hides in like the waters and stuff, or like buries itself and hides. But right now it's got a high athletics, a moderate stealth. Like I said, I think I want to drop that down to like maybe a 21 normally, given its sheer size. But it's like, plus X amount. I don't know, maybe in marshes, or we can talk about that. Armor class for level 15, its armor class is actually low. 34 is low. It had a 39 there briefly because I raised it to 35 when Larry was targeting it through the tree, and then I forgot to change it back. And then later when I got greater cover, I just applied the +3 greater cover to that 35.
Oh, that would explain it. Yeah, because I was about to say, that's low AT. How in the world are the operatives missing? Like, Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, you guys still rolled some really, really
we
terrible
were
rolls.
rolling pretty poorly, and I didn't have a hero point.
Now, given its bulk and everything, it does use an extreme fortitude, but both its reflex and will are low. And then with all those sort of like vulnerabilities in its kit, it does have, well, it actually has in between moderate and high health because it has the cold resistance and physical resistance. Though maybe I should use high health because it has the acid and fire weakness.
Maybe.
Rounding out its numbers, we have its jaws and its claw. These are actually both. Its claw is only a moderate attack roll. Its jaws is a in between low and moderate with a 26. However, we have moderate damage on the claw, and high damage on the jaw, getting up to
Right.
extreme damage when it uses Frostbite.
That should be what, 3d12 plus 17? Because
Uh,
I'm seeing a flat 17 right now.
it is 3d12 plus 17 on my sheet.
Okay, the sheet that I'm looking at, it only says a flat 17.
Yeah, it's 3d12 plus 17. I'm not sure. Is that what everybody's seeing?
No, I see 3d12 plus 17. I was about to ask, like, what are you looking at?
But
for the jaws, right?
yeah.
Yeah, no, looks fine to me in
Yeah, maybe
decaf.
try refreshing Vorthis. I'm not certain why.
Yeah,
It's,
that might be.
um,
Yeah, I'll paste it in the general here, just so you see what I'm seeing.
yeah, it's gotcha. Numbers. How do we feel? Those all seem good.
Oh, that's why you had a 3d13 and it didn't recognize the d13. That's what happened.
Well, yeah, I had changed that during the Monster Mash.
Right, and that's why it didn't show up for me, because it doesn't render 3d13.
Yeah, but I had already changed it, so I'm not sure like why it was.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay, no worries.
So yeah, numbers. How do you guys feel? Do you think we should go for like the low end of high hit points? Um,
I would say yes,
okay.
and my rationale for that is not only because fire is a very common element, but if you're planning to do the Starfinder elemental damage, is a lot more common.
So yeah, that is
I was gonna
something I want
say,
to talk about. This is a robot. It's going to have the tech traits, all that sort of stuff. But you know, the game that it comes from is a more low tech world. So this is something that people could use in Pathfinder. And I think it is actually going to be much more successful in Pathfinder than it is Starfinder, um, because, like we said, damage types are a little less varied.
I was gonna
There's a
say
lot
if
more
we're
physical
going off of
damage.
basic, yeah, if we're going off of basic Pathfinder, I'm admitting I don't know how much I would say you'd want to increase the health, only because yeah, I was hitting with fire and I was hitting a lot, and damage is still a big thing. My curiosity is that activate force field and kinetic dynamo
Yeah,
that you were looking
so
at,
let's
which I
start
know we'll
talking
look
about
at
his
later.
abilities. Well, we can
Okay,
start
cool,
talking
cool,
about
cool.
that because it does sort of pertain to stuff. I'll set it back to 300 for now. We'll discuss and see what we want to settle on. All right, so it's got resistance to physical damage 10. Now, whenever it presents damage, physical damage, due to that resistance, it tracks that amount in its kinetic dynamo. It can use that energy to either activate force field, consuming as much damage as it wants from its kinetic dynamo to get temp HP equal to that amount. However, it's going to want to be a little bit frugal because it also wants to use the kinetic energy from its kinetic dynamo to unleash its power blaster. Now, I was like, hey, having it unlock power blaster after 5 hits is good. It's fine. Now, your team only having one person that deals physical damage made me want to lower that.
Interesting.
And I think it's worth noting. I mean, maybe we keep Power Blaster the way it is because it is an extreme DC, and it is also, let me see here, 15. Yeah, it is limited use area damage. I don't often put extreme DCs on damaging effects unless they're like gated. And
And
I
I think
feel
that's fair to
it's
do.
sufficiently gated with this.
Oh,
I
oh,
have a Go
wait,
ahead.
so I critically succeeded on an extreme DC? I mean, because of my bump, but still, geez.
Well, yeah, I mean
I have
you
a
only had to
separate
succeed
question
to
then.
get that. Yeah.
Uh, I guess something to take into account. How long did the temporary hit points last for from its force field? Because it just says it gains it equal to the damage consumed before damage is dealt, but it doesn't say like if it disappears immediately after.
Okay, yeah, I can spell that out.
Doesn't it say that's because if it kept the temp HP, I could see it for a little bit, but I don't, and that would potentially
this temporary HP last until the end of the turn in which this reaction is used.
Oh, okay. So until,
or I could just say until the start of the Shellsnapper's next turn.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna suggest. Good. I would imagine if you can't quite overcome the force field, it's still gonna be active until it rolls over.
So there, like that.
yeah, I could see. Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay, but yeah, I mean there is connections here between the kinetic dynamo, between power blaster, between activate force field, as well as its other defenses to consider. What are we thinking? Do you guys think it's good the way it is? Do you think I need to adjust stuff? The silence is deafening.
The silence is thought.
One thing I
it's
want to
the
say,
brain
I
turning.
want to adjust dig in. I had it creating standard cover out of nothing, and I think I want to change that. I think I want to have until it moves, the Shellsnapper gains lesser cover. If the Shellsnapper digs in difficult terrain or greater difficult terrain, it gains standard cover instead.
Yeah, I was actually about to suggest that after I was reading it.
Yep. Because I was like, this is too much.
Yeah, like even though we might have been rolling like crap, like when two operatives are having trouble hitting it. Oh man. Oh.
Yeah, that keeps it at a nice +1 or a +2 if it goes into difficult terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys want to discuss some of its simpler stuff while you're ruminating on the nature of defenses?
Yeah.
Okay. So crush, I need to include a escape DC. Should I just use a moderate DC for its level as I did for the field Targon?
Oh, what is it? Athletic? 30?
It'd be a DC 33.
Okay, and if it was based on its athletic, that would be an extreme DC of 40.
Yeah. Could also just use DC 34, same as its the
Yeah,
DC to avoid the
think
effect.
yeah, looking at that, I would say just use the same DC as avoiding the effect. It makes it reasonable, and that way you don't have to be tracking different numbers on the same effect.
Yep. Okay. Dig it. How do you guys like its frostbite?
Honestly, terrifying. I'm not saying in a bad way. That was just genuine. Like the description was honestly what was terrifying. Just the
Why do you gotta move 30 feet away from it?
Well, that makes sense, but you have a gun. Erica doth not.
So yeah. Does it seem like a 2-action ability? It gets 10 feet of extra reach, its damage goes up to extreme, and on a crit it leaves the target slowed 1.
I don't. I mean, I feel like that's
It's basically a
decent.
lunge, right? Like a lunge.
Lunge with some extra damage.
Well, so lunge is one action by itself.
Which is why I made
but
this 2.
it doesn't have any extra damage, like
Right,
BB's
yeah.
mentioning.
Yeah.
So this is just lunge with an additional action on top of it, more damage,
And it's
and
a
the
longer
slowed one
lunge.
potential. It is a longer lunge, and it's definitely disturbing in that right.
Yeah, 2 actions sounds appropriate.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Would it be?
Were you thinking of going one way or the other, like with lesser and or more
I was
actions? Or
debating on maybe doing a single action, but I wasn't totally sold on that idea.
gotcha.
And then we saw its freeze blaster.
So to say, if
Uh,
you were to do a single action, I would definitely say flourish.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm good with keeping it at 2.
Valid.
So freeze blaster is let's see, high DC for
Cold,
its level, pretty classic.
cold fireball.
Yep, in between limited and unlimited use area damage, low DC. I might throw on like the whole on a critical failure you become slowed 1, since I am using slightly lower damage. I was like,
Yeah.
it's got a low cooldown, but I want to give it a little bit more juice.
Should it do that, or should it make the ground in the boat difficult terrain as it becomes icy?
Or uneven terrain for a
Well,
round.
yeah. I think you should do one or the other. I wouldn't do both.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, we've discussed uneven terrain as awful. What do you guys prefer?
I personally have no real opinions on which one to go with. I'm just offering it as a suggestion.
All right. Larry's got a bounce. He said he dug it. He had no notes for me. I appreciate it, man. If you're watching this, thanks for helping us out. So that leaves me with only 3 of you guys to review this creature.
I mean, I was gonna say, I know this is more as a player than anything else. I just hate uneven terrain. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is to it. I don't really have an opinion either way. I think I
Fly
like it as
spell.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, was that decaf? I couldn't make out what he said.
Yeah, I said I have a fly spell.
I have wings.
Yeah, so I mean
I
that is
guess
the other thing. This is a level 15 creature. I think uneven terrain isn't too brutal a thing.
that's a good point, actually. Because yeah, I mean, yeah, we're Starfinder, and thus jetpacks are available at level 2. But
Mhm.
even Pathfinder, you
Flying is
can
much
get
more common.
flight a lot more commonly by anywhere between 9 to
I mean, the
13
fly
even.
spell comes in at level 7.
Yeah,
It's
because
a
it's a 4.
fourth rank spell.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can get it as early as 7, and it becomes even more common just in general
It's a 15-foot
from
burst.
9 and on.
So like, I don't know. I'm just like, I feel like anybody, at least even the people without flight, like you could probably get a good jump like out of the uneven terrain if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Especially at this level.
Yeah,
Cause I would presume like you might
quick
use this
jump
as
and
an extreme
yeah,
boss with the party level 12 maybe.
yeah. I'm gonna go for uneven terrain
How long will it last?
until the start of the Shellsnapper's next turn, because the ice will just melt.
Nice.
Yep.
I think that's fair. I don't have any qualms with that.
Yeah. And I'd imagine if you were fighting in a cold environment, then it could last longer. But
Yeah,
that's
and that
I
might
know.
just be on the GM to like call out. I'm not sure I'm gonna like
Yeah.
list that in the ability.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
How very unpathfinder of you to not be as rules
I
perfect with the
feel like
ability as possible.
there's enough there.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so that does cover the abilities. Let's circle back to talking defenses and kinetic dynamo.
I think the kinetic dynamo is fine, and its HP and stuff is all fine as is.
Mm-hmm.
Because admittedly, I feel like it would just I feel like this kind of creature, even if you did give it more HP, is just going to have the same exact struggles in a Starfinder game, anyways. It's this thing ain't meant for Starfinder, even though it's built using like tech, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It is great for a Pathfinder game, though.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, and I mean, that's also, that kind of fits with the setting it comes from.
Mm-hmm. Because yeah, if everyone just has, kind of like we brought up, I think last time, if everyone just has guns,
Mhm.
and is flying in the air with jetpacks, what's this thing gonna do? This thing's screwed
it'll-
I just drop
regardless.
this thing in Numeria, man. Just drop it in
Oh
Numeria.
yeah, it'd be great in Numeria.
Yeah, no. So I think if we're going off of Pathfinder statistics, especially, honestly, I think the HP and stuff is great.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I still wanted to, I figured, it was robot and tech, so I'd let you guys go into Starfinder if you wanted to. But yeah, I do think this thing is just ultimately better suited
Sure.
for Pathfinder. It is
Which
interesting seeing
I can
the
agree with,
differences,
yeah.
though. Like even like seeing those differences between how like stuff plays in Pathfinder and Starfinder, even in the playtest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so one last thing I do want to talk about are its components. Um, I I almost want to reduce the damage. Okay, so I gave you guys some information beforehand on this so that you guys could target the shell latches right off the bat. If you had destroyed all 4 shell latches, its physical resistance is reduced to 5, and the kinetic dynamo component can be targeted. Now this thing is twofold. One, it lets you target the kinetic dynamo. I mean maybe threefold. It reduces its physical resistance, but that also means it reduces how much its kinetic dynamo gets charged up. So
Interesting.
yes, God, I don't know. Do you think I need do I need, because there's 4 of them, should I make the HP of the shell latches lower? Because I want players to kind of be able to like one-shot these shell latches. And I thought 20, I thought that was a good number to do so. And
I
then
would say it is, but
Larry
it's
comes in and rolls
Yeah.
like an 18.
Right, but I think he was missing a D6 there.
Yeah.
Even when he added the
Um,
D6, it still wasn't
It was
enough,
an
if
8.
I'm not mistaken.
No,
Yeah.
he rolled a 16, and then I actually think he had like a +4 on his weapon specialization. Is that right for a operative with his level?
uh,
It's right for you as
That
well.
doesn't.
That
let
seems
me.
low.
Oh my God, I rolled a natural one.
We just need
Oh,
the
that's what.
damage, yeah.
Yeah, I just need the damage.
Yeah, it is +4 for me as well.
That seems low for your level.
I don't think so, because they don't have greater weapon specialization yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That's
have
where the
weapon
extra
just-
damage would
specialization.
come from.
Oh, and it +4 because we're legendary.
Yeah.
We're
I just
Yeah, it's only 4 because of that.
when do fighters get greater weapon
Oh,
specialization? I
no,
thought
we get greater weapon specialization at 15th level.
I'm pretty certain fighters do too.
Yeah, so it'd be +8.
I could be wrong, but
It'd be +8 if we were one more level up.
I could
Yeah, no,
be
you're
wrong.
right. There's level 15 for fighters as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, I don't know. Lower the latch, keep the latch. What do you guys think?
Let's.
I mean, I think the HP fine. The reason I would think that is if we know to target its weaknesses, you don't have to do like 5 damage to it.
This is true.
Yeah,
Okay.
just have
With fire.
have
Yeah,
someone produce
acid
Produce
fire.
flame
on the
it.
latch.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
The latch can have 26 HP. It won't
Actually,
matter.
here's a question for you.
Hmm.
It didn't come up because I didn't think about it. Remember, I used my fire breath on this thing, and that's a reflex save. Not can you hit components with something like that?
area effects you cannot. I do have that
Area
written
effects?
Yeah,
in.
no,
You have
we've
to
talked
target.
about that. Yeah.
You have to target components.
Okay, making sure.
Speaking of which, its AC for its components are only high because it has a low AC normally.
Okay, yeah, I guess it would,
Fair enough.
getting in cover, and really crappy rolls were
Yep.
kind of getting in the way.
Now, I did lower the kinetic dynamo. It's got some lower HP because you have to destroy the 4 latches to even get at it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you'd have to. Currently, you'd have to do 80 damage just to then get to the 35.
Yes. But destroying it disables the kinetic dynamo entirely, which means it can't build up energy, which means it can't use its activate force field or power blaster. So it's like, I think that's fair, locking it behind all that. And then chill water canisters, it has some higher, HP to it, but it disables both its freeze blaster and its frostbite.
Mm-hmm.
So, any thoughts there?
No, that one looked good. And it looked like kinetic dynamo destroying that would also disable the power blaster, because that kind of requires
Yep.
it.
And its force field, because it needs to consume stuff from the kinetic dynamo. So yeah, if you destroy its chill water canisters and its kinetic dynamo, all it can do is claw, jaw, dig in, and crush.
Hey, that's still menacing in its own right anyway. So hey,
Yeah.
it don't need to do anything but crush me.
Actually, I'm not sure we discussed Crush's numbers. I know we said we liked Crush. Just a quick look at that. It is, like I said, it is actually just above a moderate DC, and its damage is limited use area damage, because it combines a stride with this effect. It covers a huge area, gargantuan area, really, and it can also like pin people beneath it, essentially.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and I got to make sense for it to be a fortitude save and not reflex to like dodge out of the way, because it's
right,
literally moving on top of you before it does it.
yeah. What I was thinking, my whole thing is that grappling is fortitude DC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now that would be a cool thing, just maybe on a wrestler archetype or something, just be able to grapple versus reflex DC.
Yeah.
But you have to take a feat for it and maybe 2 actions to do it or something.
Yeah. The other
Huh.
reason I did it is also I wanted to vary up the save DCs on the Shellsnapper.
Yeah, because you have what, three blaster and power blaster both reflect. So.
Yep. Yep. But all right.
I know we
Whoop.
discussed the power blaster. I believe we were discussing maybe making a 15 wide line
Oh,
instead of.
the one thing I wanted to make it just a 10-foot wide line. I would have been happy with just that.
Yeah.
I think 10 foot's more than fair. Going
Yeah.
beyond that, I
Agree.
do think is
And
a
a
lot
90-foot
anyways,
long,
but
10-foot
10 foot wide, I
wide
think is fine.
line. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All
To
right.
be honest, I'm imagining that coming from its mouth, so where it was, I could have seen it like moving its head over here and
Yes.
shooting.
Yep.
Right
It does come
there.
from its mouth. I did think I did. I thought I described that, and I might have missed it. But all right. I
Yep.
don't. I think we're good here. Do you guys have any final notes? Any final comments you want to make on the Shellsnapper?
No, I think we're good with those changes that we talked about. So
I think it's fine.
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well, as always, thank you guys for helping me test this creature. Thank you everybody who are watching this, whether it be on Twitch or YouTube. We're going to be back again next week to test a new monster. So, until then, stay safe, be good, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Ciao, y'all.